Good morning, traders. I don't know why I have such a good energy today, but I'm really happy to be here with you. And we're going to be doing something different today, which is studying this book, Let's Make Myself Big, which I'm reading for the manyth time. This is How I Made $2 Million in the Stock Market by Nicholas Darvas, this is my favorite trader. He's my favorite trader. I just love his style. His system is really cool. So we're going to be studying it, and I'm going to make a framework for his system and some of the key learnings in the book and applying it to kind of comparing to where I am and modifying a little bit. And then coming back, applying that to my trading habits and trading model. And then from there, we're going to go to the charts a little bit. I'm going to prepare for the daily close. I'm going to do some back testing. And then we will set limit orders at the daily close if appropriate, and then log off for the day. So let's get to it. Starting with Nicholas Darvas. Darvas. Pause for a moment. I'm going to use the bathroom. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at Darvas method. We're going to look at his profitable period and his unprofitable period. And we're going to look at Tiwu method. So this is going to give us some ideas. And a couple of things I really like about this, or his book, was his story. It's not just about his technical system, but it's about how his journey from unprofitability to profitability, back to unprofitability. And we can get a lot from just looking at that. So during his profitable period, asset selection, let's start with tools. He had a once weekly financial publication, which was Barron's Magazine. Then all he had, see, this is part of what was fascinating and why he's my favorite, is while he was trading, he was a dancer. He was one of the top paid dance performers in the world. And he was on tour across Europe and Asia. This is a time before the internet, and when even the long distance phone was very expensive. All he had was this once weekly financial publication, and he had daily high, low, and close of his stocks that he was following. That's all he had during his profitable period. Incredibly limited, and that is part of what makes it so fascinating. Tools, okay. No, this is things that he avoided. Okay. Rumors, talking to other traders. He did a little bit, but no stock ticker or active charts. His system, okay, stock selection or asset selection was he would look for increasing volume, increasing earnings, new industry. Okay, and then his system was 5 breakouts. Yeah, basically buying daily breakouts with limit order. Um, buy stop order with stop loss and range. He would also sometimes buy um, retracements in range. He paid attention to range, what he called a box, but was a tight range. Um, and then he would trail his stop loss behind major daily structure, and typically he would tighten his stop loss when seeing topping signs, which were erratic topping signs. Um, hold for weeks to months. That was basically his system when he was profitable. But he describes even after his profitability, he had an unprofitable period where his tools were he had all of a sudden he had the stock ticker, other traders' opinions and sentiment. Yeah, asset selection based off of rumors and sentiment. Didn't really avoid anything. And the system was just to day trading. So he avoided day trading previously. Why did it do that? What happened here? He went to day trading. Um, rumors and tips. And it's hard to even describe a system, but even when you have a losing system, you have a system. It sounds like he was um, greed buying with no stop loss, selling in fear on reaction. I don't know, something like that. So let's look at his routine. His routine was wake up after stock market close. Okay? Receive daily open, daily high, low, and close. Review financial tables, wire and orders. That's it. So I'm interested in taking certain things, and here the routine was go to a trading office, talk with other traders, day trade. Okay, now we're gonna do me. What's the best way to do this? Can do it down here. T-Woo method. So I also had a profitable period and an unprofitable period. So let's look at that. During my profitable period, my tools were daily chart, daily high and low, and fair value gaps. That's basically it. Okay. I avoided other tools, other traders' ideas, market trading, market entering, day trading, over time frame trading, asset selection, BTC and ETH. Why? Highly liquid, volatile, manipulated in specific ways. Now I'm going to add here drawbacks. So his system was only worked well in a bull market. Well, this didn't work well ever. So that's the reason why I like to trade this way, and also for risk management. But yeah, I mean, the idea of, I also think that the market's changed a bit, where it's more common to come back and stop you out. So my system was limit order, reversal after major sweeping candle hits target. Hold for 7 days. Trail stop. Wide. That was the entire system. My routine was back test in the morning and sometimes at night, and enter limit orders after interpretation of daily close. I would say the drawbacks were few trades, often unfilled. I barely stopped out, not able to re-enter. But I can improve that. It's still profitable though, right? So during my unprofitable period, of which there have been many, I've had the daily chart, daily high and low, fair value gaps, but also fibs, channels, E-wave, harmonics, EMA, HY block. I didn't look at any of these things previously. One thing I do want to add is I want to add diagonals because I didn't have those. I think that is worth adding. I don't know about HY block, like, hasn't really been helping. I didn't avoid any of this. What did I avoid? Basically, I avoided the daily chart, honestly. Asset selection, that didn't really change. That's not the problem. System, Jesus. Say day trading, market enter, market entry day trading, um, advance stop aggressively, or close out on early retracement. Never hold for more than a day or so. Counter trade big moves. Enter at all hours of the day. Enter whenever. Morning, day, night. Watch charts for hours a day. Watch live charts. Drawbacks. Horrible lifestyle. And mildly unprofitable. So, I want to get back to something like this. Now, what is, yeah, I want to get back to something like that. I only had a couple months of that, but it worked well. And I got greedy. I thought I wanted more. I could do more. Wasn't enough trades. And the beginning of my unprofitability was December, actually. Well, even though it was a profitable month, that's when I started to give myself more freedom and deviate and have cracks in my system and started to make some trading errors and so on. And then January and February were just absolute shit show of, yeah, jeopardizing everything I've worked for. But now I'm just trying to get it back under control. So it's not about what I'm doing, it's about what I'm not doing. So let's make it as simple as possible. And so here's what I'm interested in doing. So let's look at a routine. Trading routine. Before logging on. Okay. Okay. Now we're going to say this is my trading routine. Okay. Before logging on, first thing is F Monday to Thursday, where I have time. Walk dog on beach. Go for a swim. Play with dog. Exercise, chew athletic gum. Okay. All days. Breathing, stretching, journaling, mission statement. Well, that's after logging on. Okay. I'm going to have a morning session. I'm having an early afternoon session. And I think that should be it. I think I should try to avoid even being exposed. Like, I want to not look at the ticker, right? I'm going to make my trading like my back touching, where I just see the daily close. So my thought is, yeah, my morning session will be my pre-trade routine, pre-chart. No, it's We've been working for 30 minutes. We haven't even looked at the charts yet. We're 20 minutes here. So what's the my morning session is going to be something like mission statement, which I haven't done yet, but we need to do. Habit review, system review. Okay. High time frame chart review. Back testing. Okay. And then we'll have another session. High time frame chart review. And set limit and stop orders. And then after close, avoid charts. Read trading books, journal. Am I going to be able to do this? Maybe. Today's the first day I'm going to try. So the idea is that do something like Darvas and do something like what made me profitable. I need to avoid watching the live chart, avoid watching the live ticker. Trading the daily is so much more reliable and less stressful. And in theory, in theory, I could, by trading the daily open and close, just be there for 1 hour and set it and check the next day if I should close. In practice, I do need to do back testing and other things to continue to get better. And it's possibly good to take one exit trigger to increase my profitability, maybe in the morning. But in theory, yeah, I'm trying to discipline myself by reducing. So let's go to trading data here. And I'm trying to reduce as much as possible as well. Like simplify. Here's my system. Did Bitcoin, well, it says Bitcoin, but I'm trading ETH, and I'm also paper trading the Euro and the NASDAQ. Because I'm going on daily signals, of which there are fewer, it might make sense to trade more assets, but it's just a test. If Bitcoin didn't clear a major level, then I can possibly trade breakouts, maybe, or predictive sweeps. If Bitcoin did clear a major level, but we didn't just break a major high time frame diagonal, and there's not a major liquidity target, then I can do my daily reversal into continuation if that works. Adding once a day, advancing my stop once a day. But if we took a major liquidity, but we just broke a major high time frame diagonal, and there's another liquidity target we could go to, then I'm not trading reverse. Very fucking simple. Can I follow it? Okay. Pre-chart routine, yes. Mission statement. Become the most disciplined version of myself, achieve financial freedom for which I can move on to other challenges in my life. Discipline is the portal to self-mastery and success. Discipline in trading will unlock financial freedom for me. If I follow my trading rules over the long term, I will be profitable. I value the money that I have and I'm careful with it. I'm okay with conceding. Trading the minor market moves and happy to left to focus on the daily trends. Less is more. Less is more in trading. Less is more about what we don't do than what we do. Okay. Habits. Daily chart backtesting. Okay. Trade my charts on the computer. Log off after setting limit orders around daily close. I don't log back on. I don't look at the charts again for the day. I don't know if I'm gonna stick with that, but it's just a challenge for myself right now. A lot of my mistakes happen at night anyway. Stay in the high time frame. I'm gonna remove 7 HY block for now. I didn't use it when I was profitable. I think it's a great tool. I may come back to it, but it cost me money and I didn't use it when I was profitable. Limit and trigger entries only at daily close, yes. Pre-trade checklist, okay. Okay. Trade daily system 2.0 only. Okay. So now we can look at the charts, and the point of this is to do nothing but to prepare. I did have a couple orders, maybe the losses, but the point of this is to prepare for the close. And I'm going to spend a couple hours doing back testing. Okay, let's start on the daily. Okay, I believe we're going to have something tradable, possibly. Nice, I really like seeing that candle. Let's see, with the euro. Would have been a stop, but I didn't trade it. And then NASDAQ. Interesting. I got filled on a long here. So this is giving me a liquidity all clear. We didn't quite take that high, so I might prefer to trade Bitcoin. But that's definitely, that's going to open some shorts. So I did consider predicting this off of this daily close. It felt sort of hard to do. Oh man, that would have been great. So we could have, possibly, predict a sweep like this. But I'm fine with waiting. I got in as that'd be an insane entry. Already running a 3R. That would have been the predictive sweep. So it went to 26,500 and fell $2,000. It's definitely a liquidity all clear to start looking for shorts in this region. So I'm gonna wait for the daily close. If the daily close looked like this, got it. We'll come back and look at it. I kind of wish I had done this. Short in the 4 hour like this, that would have been fucking so good. But I don't know, it's kind of wild. It's definitely a short trigger though. We cleared a major daily liquidity target, yes. We didn't break a major high time from diagonal. There is not another major liquidity target still just beyond. No. So, there's two ways that I'd be interested in trading this. The first would most likely be an inside. I don't need to do anything right now. But this is the key level. I will probably live trade this one. We have a 1 hour gap. Could use quite a wide stop. And then, I don't know. It seems like the type of thing that just goes down, but yeah, we'll see. But the other option here would be a breakdown of this diagonal if it's still intact, which it might not be. Okay. So we're going to come back to this in the daily close. I'm going to do nothing though. The truth is, that would have been an insane prediction, but it's not what I expected necessarily. I considered a breakdown short down here, which would not have triggered. But yeah, that's something like what could have pretended that to get this insane entry? I mean, I think the fact that we're like so close to target. I had no trades on ETH either. I'm less interested in trading ETH because it's not as much of an all clear. Although we could consider doing both. Like that's good enough. That's what I want to see. We can trade within that wick. We might go higher and sweep that. And I would be willing to try multiple times. Although ETH kind of maybe broke a high time frame diagonal, so I'm a little bit less interested in shorting that one too. Wow, that's wild. That would have been such a sick. And that's the only way to do it too, right? So I think yeah. Let's modify my system so I could have attempted that. And what is that? Plan on continuation. I would say set predictive sweep at major target. I'm going to say expect target to be hit. And then, if appropriate, set predictive sweep at major target. Set breakout, break trades. Towards target. Okay. Let's go back to the chart. That is for sure like a nice short opportunity right there. And not to say we can't go higher, but it's my signal. We don't have too many interesting diagonals. That are nearby yet. Other than, yeah, I mean, there's a local one. But in terms of really high time frames ones, no. Now that we have this, we can set that. And from the next one too.
Rose black.
Is it?
Yeah, so they're
Okay. So it's maybe a breakout on ETH, so I'm a little bit less interested in okay. Well, that makes a lot more sense. Because if we look at maybe here to here, we have 3 touches. Still looks like a breakout. So based on that, I wouldn't short ETH. So these are a couple things to consider too, like could be a major breakout on ETH coming. Come on, make it perfect. Good enough, whatever. So we had these as pressure coming down from the highs that we broke out of here. Bitcoin, I'm for sure shorting within this wick, like it can't happen. It can happen. Okay. Have our major daily trend lines. And then there's something this price action reminds me of. And it was near a top, but we did go higher. Let me stay on the 4-hour for this. It was on the Bitcoin chart. Up here. This little move. Took this high. And we did end up coming back higher. I wish it wasn't so wide, honestly. Like, it makes it a little bit harder. But I'll run it with a wider stop. So we're going to come back to this, but that is 100% for sure a short trigger, liquidity all clear, trade inside this candle and see where we get to. And I will trade it with live funds, most likely. Okay, so before we get to backtesting, I am trading why do I have two positions? Okay, I had a breakout long. That's why. So I got actually filled over here. So this one I can turn off. Looking at the daily. The NASDAQ, if the daily is like this with the NASDAQ, like, it actually looks good for continuation. Although, Brooke, based on my position, I don't know that it makes sense to add. No. I could do this if the day closes like this. And it would be oh yeah, I'm gonna check CPI. Like, I don't think it's wrong to know what the economic news is. Yeah, if the day closed like this, I could do something like that. News calendar, CPI came in at expected. Exactly. Okay. Of course, CPI came in a little bit higher. Upside surprised the core CPI. So they're saying they're going to hike. All right. We're going to keep hiking. They're going to bail out the banks. Okay. Um, I could consider trying something like this. Now look at the euro. The euro is also a short candidate. Why? Well, just because we swept the high again and we have all this space to work in. The breakdown that's going to happen. It's not that clean, but we did have a breakout, so right here as well. Okay, maybe we don't short this. Why? I think it doesn't quite fit the criteria. What is the criteria being? Price just broke a major high time frame diagonal. So I think it makes more sense to wait. We're holding above these lines here. Wait for something better. Was it true that short over here? Not really. Okay, I'm gonna take a short break and then we're going to be back for some back testing. Yeah. So why does my symbol say to short something like this? Because we hit a major target. People are saying I'm going to take profit up here. People are saying I'm going to short up here. And people are saying if it holds above here, I'm going to go long. People are saying if it falls under, I'm going to go short. I'm one of those people. It's not a held breakout. It's for sure a failed breakout. Let's look at the monthly. The monthly looks crazy. Once again, swing failure. It's not guaranteed to be a winner, but you know, there are a couple ways I could play it. I could play a breakdown. I could play a repeat sweep. Saying, hey, maybe we could take this day over here. I'll come back and decide based on the close looks like. If the close happened right now, which of these options would I take? I could run this one with a wider stop. See if there's any. Well, it could be also, if we close the day over this, it'd still be a short. And I have the NASDAQ long. Which will paper trade for a while. Paper trade NASDAQ and Euro before thinking about live trading it. That would have been so fucking sick to catch that with the 4 hour on the 4 hour. The 1 hour. Yeah, it's all about them 4 hour gaps, man. 4 hour gaps are money. In retrospect, that predictive sweep would have worked great. Something like this. Bang. Okay. So I have the trigger. How would I do it? If it closed like this. Probably inside. If we got another sweep tomorrow, I would trade it tomorrow. But I do an inside and I do a breakdown. A wick like that is usually a pretty good inside candidate. It's like, where's there a huge wick like that that could get swept on? Well, let's look at what the original daily exhaustion system would say to do as well. I mean, it could be like this one, where 2 days later we came back and swept it. Or we did have even after we cleared the target. So the daily exhaustion system would say to do this. However, I love the trigger, but the entry didn't always work, right? But I would say after the daily closed, actually, I'm going to short a sweep of this, like so. There's a world where it makes sense to trade all three setups. I think maybe it does. Each of them have edge. I just trade each at half risk. And yeah, I mean, I could lose 1.5%. I don't know. We'll come back to it. But I have my trigger. I feel like it's something to trust and to trade. It doesn't necessarily mean we will win, but I do see ETH as being a lot more dangerous to trade because of the diagonals and also because of not having taken this target. Okay. I'm going to break for a bit and then we're going to come back and do back testing. Now, by the way, before back testing, I had considered doing this. I break out like this. I actually did have it set. I would just get it up here. I feel like ETH could launch, but I also feel like ETH could just sweep this again. But yeah, I canceled it before bed, but I had a breakout like this, which that would have worked. I also had a short, a Bitcoin short, inside short, which was dumb, but yeah, this would have worked. Also the retracement long down here. The idea that we're still driving towards major target. We should probably expect ETH to sweep the highs. So we could expect a possibility of Bitcoin to sweep these highs also. That's something that could happen. Um, yeah. I'm gonna trade them. We're gonna do it. Pause, and then we do back testing. Okay. Okay. Back. I'm gonna do back testing for maybe an hour. Pause. The biggest cheat code would be having a time traveler, right? Man, that's a pretty aggressive top right there. I kind of like doing all of them. They all have edge. But doing that with 5% stop, that wouldn't make sense. Uh, Even having a 3% stop, I wouldn't like, but that is what it is. So the idea is, even if whether or not I live trade it or not, I'm gonna set my orders, and then I'm not gonna come back until tomorrow. It's kind of wild to think about, but in doing so, I should probably put on small risk. That would have been wild, catching that. Okay. I thought I'd just wait for an all clear, but I had the foresight not to trade in here at least, and to think we would hit that target. Okay. Okay, back testing. Um, let's pick. Well, if I'm gonna back test, I want something with more price history, but I was working on this area. We're in a more higher volatility period, so let's jump over here. Okay, so all we have is our two indicators. Let's start by drawing some trend lines. I don't think I've ever backtested this part with trend lines before, actually. So we have our overhead trend lines, which we're going to pay attention to. And we have our here to here. And then where are we on the daily? So the last trigger that was given is here. And then there was a little bit of a trigger here, but then we had a trigger like I'm not really seeing a reason to trade yet. I don't know if it's an all clear liquidity, but it's definitely interesting. On the 4-hour. So I'm definitely thinking like it would be nice to trade a breakout. Oops. Uh, I mean, clearly we're still in a pretty aggressive downtrend, though. Just stick with the higher time frame ones. So what would be an all clear? Like having gone short, that was a trigger right there. An all clear would be it doesn't work, but it's interesting. So I know it's a loss, but I'm interested in trying here. Anyways, saying, okay, we came in and we swept this bottom. We have all this space to trade in. And we will trade it like, let's see, is there a 4-hour gap? Is there a 1-hour gap below, maybe? This indicator is taking a while, I don't know why. Mm, 3%. We had a decent reaction. Maybe try something like this. I kind of know it's not going to work, but hold up. It's interesting. Well, in theory, I'm not looking at the charts, but if I see this, that would be a cancel trade. But Okay. So I'll mark a -1, but the way to catch that would have been to have taken this short and be holding it. So let's go into that day where, okay, we have a liquidity all clear right here. We have a wick. How did the daily end look like? There's no 1 hour gap, just a wick. So it makes sense to try to short overhead. I don't know if this is going to work exactly, but let's try the far edge of this fair value gap. No, that didn't do it. So yeah, maybe it's not caught, but possibly on the following day. Oops, I accidentally. Right. After this day, okay. We'll say we didn't get filled. Would we still have signs of lower? On that day, I could have considered a breakout too, so let's back up. Something like this. Yeah. So we could try. Well, this is definitely a breakdown candidate. It would have been. This would have worked. And what would the breakdown be? The breakdown might look something like this. I think the breakdown doesn't work though because we go lower first. Which is a challenge of setting breakdowns once a day. Like, how would we set it? I would want to set it sufficiently low. So maybe we could try something like this. Okay, that's not triggered. We get on our breakdown, and then price does come up later. It would not quite, but just about be a stop out from that position. But then again, it's sort of hard to hold here. But it's like, well, we didn't reach a major target, so I could throw in a long and hold my shorts with a stop, maybe. It'd be easy to get stopped out on that day. Okay, say I held them. Now what are we doing? We're looking for a major target, which is right here. So we hit a major target. So we can think about reversal, but I'd like to see another day first. Okay, smaller day. So we can think about reversal now because we hit a major target. We have a little bit of a smaller candle here. We didn't quite sweep the lows, but we left a wick. So I think the first thing would be to anticipate more downside still. Try to get into a position, maybe something like this. I don't know, I'm just throwing it out there. No. I think we sweep this low once again, but There's a couple things we can do. First, we can anticipate break, maybe. Like, how am I trading this on the daily? Maybe still look for a sweep. Didn't quite get filled on that. Let's imagine we did. I know, like, it's not realistic, but okay. Okay, that's a pretty nice signal, and we could look for retracement ads now. Maybe stop within here. It's a pretty wide stop, but it's also a volatile time. Let's see if we can get this stop a little bit tighter. Maybe something like that. Okay. So this is a challenge where once again, let's actually go short signal, and it would be cause to, yeah, maybe close. Try something like this. Oh, let's go to the 1 hour. Yeah, something like that. Didn't fill, and it swept some lows. So now we're thinking longs again. However, for the long, I still like the idea of cutting into this, especially if we have equal lows now. Something like that. Okay. Let's go back. Maybe I need to make it a rule to just use every setup. I don't see like a breakout yet making sense, but soon. So I can set something like that, but I could also trade an inside one like this, which would require more aggressive profit taking, but that's the one that fills. By the way, it could have been even more like this. Okay. Okay. Breakout. A little action. That's probably a cover, but then we have this happening, so we could maybe close and do a breakout. And it's probably might be safe to short inside, but it's not. It doesn't seem safe to short over these highs. So maybe like this one, we don't have anymore. This one, it seems like it would be okay to close here. and to try to trade a breakout on a following day. It's a short signal, but I need to watch this diagonal. So I might even long if we can break higher than this. But close for now, and then maybe a breakdown short. So what I don't love about the short is like the target is so close, but I could do a little inside short. Try one. Targeting these lows. Just take that signal. Okay. Actually did fill it. That might be a possible cover sign. It's not a major thing, but this breakout's getting better and better. Might as well hang on to it. So, no, I would not have been stopped out of that breakout and it would have worked. This would have been stopped if I didn't heed that exit trigger. I think it would have been reasonable to do so, but it's okay. So on this day, this is the sort of thing where, okay, we expect this target to be hit. This isn't a major target. So I could try a breakout long at the daily close. Towards this target. If we go higher, we shouldn't go under that. And this is sort of where we're aiming. Oops. Okay, I got filled. I don't. Yeah, I really think that's a strong exit signal just because the major target and the broken diagonals. So those are keys that I need to pay attention to. So that breakout worked. Here's for sure an exit, like a short trigger, because now we've taken the highs. So we can exit these now. +7, +1, so +8. These late shorts are oftentimes not worth doing because it's just so small, but whatever. Okay. So we're expecting this it's not a huge wick. A big wick we can trade inside of. But we would expect this to be swept once more. Since we have large gaps. I like trying the daily exhaustion system here, which is this 2.5%, 2%, and then we have these breaks that we can start looking at. Maybe some breaks to the downside next. So let's pull those off. like that. I don't think a breakdown makes sense yet. So there's our fill. We're in the trade. And I don't think it makes sense to add on. Definitely not. It might make sense to be short another sweep if it happens. Which does happen. But we get filled on this one. And here we are. And now considering the number of times that we've been swept, and our good entry, we could do an add-on in one of these gaps. I don't know why it doesn't want to work right now. But I can see maybe something like this we can set. So far that breakdown, I don't think it makes sense for breakdown yet, just because the way the chart is, we don't have enough. Oops. Yeah, well, this day, I'm going to be careful about advancing my stop too much. This one didn't fill. And I think I'm okay with still having like a retracement in here. And then maybe like I want to see a little bit more for a breakdown. Okay. Not a major trigger. That's a sign of a possible short-term reversal, but it's like definitely not a liquidity all clear. So, I mean, if anything, it's setting up for a breakdown short below that. So I like leaving these. I could have taken profit off of that one, what might have been reasonable. Saying if we crack this day's low, we should dump. Okay. We have one fill. And we cracked that day's low. Although actually, let's back up. Because even though that breakdown worked, I think it maybe made less sense after we have this situation now, where also we're so close to a target that, yeah, it doesn't seem great. Let's say, okay, let's advance our stops a little bit, ratchet up our risk, our position sizes. That's a lot better because here we have to think about a long possibly happening here, but no. What's going to save us from longing here is breaking this diagonal here. It's like, yes, we're sweeping, but this broken diagonal saved us. So now we're looking in this area. That's our exit signal. And it's a go long signal. So we would exit. And I think it would be super reasonable to have automatic TPs past the major target. That's what I used to do, and that would save a lot here. 11, 7, 6 compared to, I would give like almost half of it back, or a third of it back. Now we would be looking for retracement long, saying, okay, that was a really nice reaction. That should be some kind of a bottom. We need a super wide stop to trade that. Long position. Say, hey, if we take this high, the high of the day, we should go higher, like maybe up here. I think this is sort of where we go in the next rally, but I don't remember. One day at a time. So nothing. Still like the breakout. Stop out. Or was it? Yes. Okay, we got filled on this, which I like. Okay, not target hit. Okay, target hit, now we're looking at shorts. So what is that, a 4? Although, hang on. We could have tried again. This like looked a lot better actually. On this day, what day is this? After we get filled on this day. At this point, our breakout long looks pretty good. Okay. Now we're looking for shorts. We hit a major target. There is a wick above us, but we could wait for a sign of a rejection first. Like here. Okay, that's like some amount of confirmation of what we were looking for, where it's like, well, we could have got in, but now we could look for some kind of a retracement short and also a breakdown. So maybe like split our risk. Something like this. How would that have gone? We would not have been filled, but maybe on a lower time frame we would have found something. Although we would have got this breakdown. And then another. And here, like, this is the major target. I think we don't hit it though. Although that's probably close enough to close here after this day, which would have been good. That's just insanity. And then at this point, it becomes about breakouts. So this is what I didn't have when I was backtesting back in the day. Like this is breakout where, okay, I'm definitely setting a long under here, but I'm okay also setting longs above these days, like trying to catch one breakout. Stop. Try again. That one works. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, pause for a bit. I kind of just skipped ahead. I guess I'm losing focus. I said I would do it till a certain point, and I'm kind of there. Um, Here though, like this day is a big go short day, and this actually reminds me of today's candle, where we didn't quite hit everything, but like, man, we cleared most everything, and price never goes higher than this candle. Yeah, we had a pretty major reaction, and this is where trading inside would have worked better. I think we went all the way up here. Maybe inside with an outside stop. Would that have filled? It would have. This candle definitely reminds me of today's candle so far. Where like trading inside that is probably somewhat safe. Or focusing my risk inside the candle is probably superior. But yeah, I mean today's candle was actually a lot more volatile. So that might have been a place where it would have made sense to add. But I want to see a bounce and then we can break down short here. Um, we have this large 4-hour fair value gap, which is a place we could try to add risk maybe. And then advance our stop slightly. That's not an all clear long, but yeah, it's not. Like there's so much below. Okay. Run these. From this day, I don't know how much I want to push my luck until price goes. Maybe like, yeah, we could try a breakdown at this point. Wider stop. It didn't fill. Stopped out. -1. We'll try again right here. Okay. Not an all clear. It's like, when do we get an all clear? When do we get an all clear for shorts? Actually, trading inside that would have been reasonable. And we did have some nice sideways, but not until we clear the lows do we have an all clear. But okay, so this is what like I've learned that helps a lot, where we don't have an all clear because of this diagonal break. Because we've recently cut a diagonal, we don't expect a reverse until we have some movement. Like now we could maybe expect some reversal here, right? So the diagonal is huge. Like if we break a diagonal, yeah, we do not trade it. Okay, guys, we're back. It is we're coming up on the daily close and daily open. And I believe the euro and the indices already had them. So we're going to look at the daily charts, put on some orders. I probably will put on an order, a live order for Bitcoin. Um, yeah, so, and then log off until tomorrow. So I'm going to pick one or two orders that I like, and we will go from there. But this is, okay, the way it's closed today, closing it is for sure a short trigger, for sure, on the daily. We got our all clear, and we got a huge wick, and we took out a major target and fell back under it. I'm not interested in shorting ETH because of this diagonal, and also because ETH front ran this a little bit. So the possibility of another wick it's possible. I might try all three entries and take the risk. Let's come back to this because I have a little bit of time. But for NASDAQ, I might be interested in. I don't really know that I love adding on here. Maybe there's a nice little. Yeah, there's a nice little diagonal here, but I'm not sure it makes sense to really advance my stop loss. So I think I'm going to do nothing with that. Let's look at the euro on the day. We have another wick, so we have another short trigger. There's two ways we could trade this. The first would be, I'll probably do both. I'll do a breakdown. Definitely a short. Let's go look at the dollar and come back to this. The dollar's had a couple crazy days, but it has stopped moving in the meantime. Euro. I kind of like using all three again. So the first one we'll look at is a breakdown. I want it to be super obvious, this line. I'm going to go to a lower time frame for a minute, see if I can get more precise with my breakdown line. And we would try a short under here. And then I will try a short with here with a wider stop. That allows another sweep. See if there's any more structure. Because why not? I don't need to have like a 0.09% stop. Something like this. Because say that we went here to, what is our target? Our likely target? It either doesn't exist yet or it would be these lows. Or maybe just this region. It doesn't bother me that we're holding above this breakout because it's been 3 days now. Just the day after a break isn't great. But even if we go into this region, it's pretty good. But if we were to go to new lows, that seems sort of unlikely based on the news, but it's possible. So I'm going to do both of these. And I have a challenge going. I just don't care to do it. I don't have to do it. It's $100. I wouldn't even use the account if I made it. Risk it all on one trade, yeah. Stop. Okay. Okay. There's a guy I'm tempted to talk to, but I'm not. Or send it. I'll tell him later. But this is a one. We swept it twice, which is typically a good sign for more downside, or for downside. Doesn't mean that we have to, but this looks good. So if I wanted to trade this with live funds, which I may do eventually, and I like that this is sort of different than Bitcoin, but I would, oh, it's such a good setup. Like it looks so good. Yeah. Not that it's for sure going to be a winner, but just like the risk reward. If it works, it's good. Yeah, I could trade this on Thinkorswim, but I'm not going to do that. Okay, so Bitcoin, we're coming into a daily close. We have a sweep of a major level again. We swept this again and fell under it again. So that is 100% for sure a short trigger. It would have been nice to predict that. So part of the question is, do we think that price is going to come up and sweep again, or can we trade safely inside of this wick? It's such a big wick that I like trading inside of it, but might consider another option for outside. I'm not sure a breakdown makes sense yet. I think waiting on a breakdown might, for a better setup, might make sense, maybe. So I don't know about this one. I don't yet know about this one. This one I will do. It's a wider stop than I would normally trade. There may be a way to do this. Come on. Why is this not working? No, it's not. It's working on the 1 hour. It's just not working on the 500. What about the 15? Okay. We can imagine there was a bunch of liquidity over this and that was just taken out. So price can come back in here, but there's probably not the stops to push price up much higher. Let's go and look at the daily on the lows. Like, what's our target? And this is a problem, is like, God, that's such a gruely wick. Like, definitely, definitely short inside that wick. We could try short above the wick too, but it's almost like this day. I know there was a lot of liquidity still down here at this breakout, but I mean, I guess the target would be 16,000, possibly, like under the lows, if this were to work. Weekly, wick. Failed breakdown, then failed breakout. Maybe we just trade in this range forever. So we hit our weekly high target. The weekly low target is under the lows here, or under these lows, but yeah, under the lows. Okay, well, that makes it more interesting. So I'm curious. I want to look at some of these other charts and see. $25, $8.23. Buy bet. 25, yeah, something like that. I think I like trying all three. Each of them has edge, and I'll just be prepared to lose. So the standard would be something like this, which I don't hate really. It kind of makes sense. We have this small gap up above. The worst would be getting stopped out and then it comes back in, but so I like it. And then I'm not sure that a breakdown makes sense yet. Like, I want to trade it, but I just expect more distribution. Like, I really would expect something like this. It just doesn't even retest the highs and comes straight down. Like, price action doesn't, it can look like that. You know, another thing this little structure reminds me of is the March 2021 rally, the top of it. Like this thing right here. But that was a different time frame that occurred upon. Okay. Is there a world where I could get my stop tighter on this and put it like at 2%? Maybe. Just down there is 12 to 1. If we were to aim for the lows, it's a 20 to 1. I want to look at the euro again. We took the high from February 14th. The February 14 high. We took it on Monday. We swept it twice today. Oh yeah, 3 sweeps. I didn't even notice the third. 3 is definitely a trade. Okay, back to Bitcoin. So I'm going to do both of these. The question is on if I want to try a breakdown. Um, and I kind of want to. So the thing is though that, okay, there's already been a nice wick. The odds of a sweep in here, like the odds of sweeping down here and then coming back in seem too great. A breakdown today feels a little bit risky, where there's just not as many, one, two, three, like we have three touches. I mean, I'll chart it out, but I'm not loving it. I don't want to throw money away. I value my money. But it would look something like, what's going on in the 5 minute? It would definitely be underneath this or at the low of this because this is like a safe place to trade into. So maybe something like this, but then like, the stop needs to be so wide. I would like to see this distribute for or accumulate for a while longer. And what I really want to see is price come up here, and even if I get swept, like, so it's obvious I should be looking for shorts. What's not obvious is if I should take this short or this breakdown. It feels a little bit, I think I will. Like, this price action reminds me of this price action, where once we got going, we just went down. So, like, as soon as we actually, this is like that first wick. This was an inflation day too, actually. So we had this wick. As soon as we lost that wick, okay, so we have our wick, right? It worked somewhat well. So just use a little bit of a wider stop. Run by bit. There's no reason to look for longs after this price action. Nasdaq's holding decently though. The worst case scenario would be price comes, sweeps these lows, and then rallies to new highs. which is something that could happen, but it wouldn't kill me. And I think a more likely thing would be to retest the highs or sweep the highs before having some kind of a correction or pullback. Also, what wouldn't be great would be sweeping and then something like this where I don't get in the trade. I mean, it's probabilities, right? There's a lot involved. Or we just sweep more aggressively, but then I could try again on the other side. I want to limit the worst thing that can happen, but I also want to like say, hey, I have a trigger. I want to take full advantage of this trigger. Right. Let me take full advantage of this trigger. Where's the low of that day? What is that orange line? Yesterday's low is all the way down here. No, the low of the previous day is right here. Like this low could easily be swept, although I don't want to predict that. I don't want to go long right here. That's something I might have done in the past, where it's like, well, we're going to form a new range. I'm going to go long right here. No, I don't like it. It feels like a break. We should break down. I just don't want to get entered unless we, yeah. I think I'm okay entering. It's not a low time frame breakdown. Like the daily is asking me to do it. And yeah, there's some world where it works. So let me try. I'm going to do them all. Okay. And then I'm going to log off. For the day. And just trust. I'm going to risk 0.5% on each position. The worst thing that can happen is take a 1.5% loss. Which, yeah, wouldn't be ideal, but it's very survivable. And yeah, I'm not, this is going to be the crazy part, is logging off. Okay, we're going to limit. First the high one, 1,000 on a 2% wide stop. Pretty relatively wide stops here. 1,000 on a 2%, so 50,000. Oh, I don't know if I have enough collateral to do all these actually. Because I'm going to need a pretty wide. Considering my stop is, say, 3%, the most leverage I can probably use is 25. So I'm not sure I have enough margin. In which case I might also wire some more money, top up my trading account. Yeah, what is that divided by 25? Probably have enough, just barely. Yeah, what is this, a 2.53%? Yeah, I should have just enough, but I probably will wire. I guess since I don't need to yet, I won't. Close that. Okay. So we'll use 25x leverage. Sell short. My stop loss is going to be And my entry is going to be 26,635. My stop loss is going to be 27,168. $27. My take profit, I'm looking at new lows. Will we get there? I don't know. Okay. Available balance. I have just enough. I will not wire more until I'm blown. I need to. And then we're going to do one with the 2.5% stop. So this one, 40,000. My entrance is going to be at 25,707. And my stop loss is going to be at 26,352. And we're aiming for new lows if we get there. Okay. And then we're going to do a breakdown here. Which would be, my preference would be a big push up. Okay, and then we're going to do another 3%, or 0.03. This is going to be the widest stop, since it's a high time frame calls for it, but it's a low time frame breakdown. Using a wider stop is probably a smart call. Conditional market trigger price will be 23,970. Knowing that it's not unusual to just sweep this. But it would be, I mean, arguably we're already breaking down. And yeah, so we'll do that. The stop will be 24,594. No, that's not right. 24,691. What is this? 24,691. Okay, and we're aiming for the 15,000s for now. So worst thing, I can wake up and half my account's gone. But it's just 1.5% of what I have roughly, and I know I have an edge doing this. This is my edge right now. I have my signal. I'm going to trade my signal. Yeah, and hopefully I get lucky in addition to that as well. But I'm going to just trade once in the daily. Maybe it would make more sense to, there'll be a way to get a better entry later, but yeah, and there's definitely a possibility. It wouldn't be unusual that, okay, now this is the bottom of a range, a larger range up here. Something like this happens. That wouldn't surprise me. An example would be like this, in which case that breakdown wouldn't work, but also it might not trigger. It may or may not trigger. Or we could break higher, like this, and I lose. Or yeah, we form a little range like this. And just the edge is now on shorts after that. There's a possibility it's a structure like this, and we just dump. Or it's like this, and yeah, we just, for the most part, we just dump. Or something something like this where we just dump. So it's okay, I'm gonna try it. Or something like this. Okay, let's go to our pre-trade checklist. I already put them on. Backtesting. Trading model. Pre-trade checklist. How am I feeling? I'm feeling a little bit tired. I am feeling a little excited, which is probably not good, but could be worse. Do I have a daily exhaustion trigger? Yes. Have I waited for the daily close? Yes. Is my system clearly asking me to take this trade? Yes, yes, yes. The lower time frame break is a little more nebulous, but for the most part, yes. Does it align with high time frame ideas? I don't really like this question. Am I entering after a major liquidity sweep? All clear? Yes. Am I trading outside and towards major liquidity? Yes. Am I risking no more than... I'm risking 1.5% on across open trades. It's okay. Does my stop loss make sense as validation? I'm not going to advance. Well, actually, I'm changing this. I will be advancing my stop after daily closes. I have an idea of a couple areas where I might end up exiting. I accept these trades as a loss. And yeah, please retest the highest and breakdown. That would be my ideal. It's like go straight to retest these highest and breakdown. Let's look at the NASDAQ. Let's look at the euro. I think I am going to. Go trading, log out. Yeah, that was a breakout. I want to play with the idea like, what if? I mean, I'm definitely committed to this system, but when would I have? Well, most likely, I either catch this with a predictive sweep. Just having a plan to go short in here might have been okay. But yeah, what happened by the time I'm even... I guess so. Like if I had logged on at 7:30 and I'm going short right here, then it'd be more like this. But like I commit to not living my life like that. It's not working for me. Okay, this is my last look of the day. Let's get it. Peace.